It sounds like you lost give or take around 100 pounds. Is that
Right.
accurate?
Yeah.
Wow.
I gained
Fantastic.
a little bit of weight during
Congratulations.
COVID.
What
Thank
a
you.
journey, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting rid of that COVID weight though.
Oh, you got the COVID weight? I
Yeah, yeah.
got, we got a little bit of the COVID weight too.
Hey, Carl, how you doing, buddy?
Shawn, what's going on? How you been, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Good to see you again. And hi, everybody out there. Thank you for your time. And thank you for joining us for another episode of As Is To Be. I am one of your co hosts. My name is Shawn Achimpong. I'm a digital transformation specialist, and I primarily focus on governance, process, technology, records management, and change. And our co host, Carl.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? My name is Carl Reed. Sometimes I go by Creed. I'm a process engineer by design, and I consult and work on anything that is continuous improvement, anything that allows someone to say it's never been done before, so I can raise my hand and say, okay, let's try something new.
Fantastic. And we have a very special guest today. I'd like to introduce everyone to Sanjay Padhiar. Hi, Sanjay.
Hi, Shawn. Hi, Carl. Hi, everyone out there.
Sanjay,
Hi.
good to have you on board, man.
I'm so excited, man. This is a great opportunity.
Right
Yeah,
on.
likewise. I can't wait to hear some of the stories that I've heard on me and you back and forth
Yeah,
through
our chats.
LinkedIn. Yeah, through LinkedIn. But now I really want to hear and dive into some more of your stories. So thank you for
Absolutely.
coming on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Awesome. Let me tell you a little bit about Sanjay. So, Sanjay is a small business consultant who is an expert at analytics and operations. He works in the corporate world as a customer experience and business strategy manager. He has his very own brand called Be Motivated that helps people feel better about themselves. And overall, he's on a mission to make the world a better place for himself and his son. So, thank you again, Sanjay.
Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited for this chat.
Right on. Cool. So let's
Yeah.
get right into it. So first, I'll just keep it open and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'll start off with kind of the beginning, what led me through this journey, and ultimately on your podcast. So, always been part of a family business environment growing up. My father was an entrepreneur, so ever since I could remember, 5 years old, always around his business, customers. Um, it was a great experience growing up, and definitely learning from him. So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I went to college and university, both for business management and entrepreneurship. I went to Seneca and Ryerson for all of my Seneca and Ryerson people out there. And after I graduated, I've been working corporate ever since, over a decade now. Currently in telecommunications, and I've worked for three corporations. I've worked for Loblaws companies and Adidas, which you guys might have heard of, and currently working for Bell. So yeah, the corporate life, it was great. I've learned a lot as well, and that's what has really been the backbone of me entering the consulting realm, just applying my experiences and my knowledge for the betterment of business owners. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like Shawn was saying, I have a brand called Be Motivated. It started off as a fitness apparel brand. It wasn't successful when I initially launched it. We can get into the specifics of that because I think it'll be some important learnings there. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
All right. And I want to know, and so for the audience that don't know Sanjay, I know Sanjay through LinkedIn, but I was shocked when he told me he went on through this amazing journey, a personal journey. So not only from a business perspective, but he went through this personal transformation. Do you want to just elaborate? I know you touched on a little bit with respect to you started your own company, Being Motivated.
Right.
Do you want to elaborate on how
Yeah.
you came up with the name and that journey that you went through?
Yeah, definitely. So I was always overweight my entire life. It had the limitations that being overweight has. So physically, of course, mentally as well, those limitations were there. With regards to the brand, it was me and my buddy working out at the gym, and we just decided, hey, it wouldn't be cool if we had T-shirts that had quotes on it that were motivating, so you keep going type of thing. So that was the original idea. I ended up going with it. He had other stuff going on, and basically I launched the brand. We had the T-shirts and everything, and I was telling other people to live this fitness lifestyle, and I wasn't living that lifestyle. Like, I wasn't always going to the gym. I wasn't always eating healthy. At that time, I was about 65 pounds overweight. I had mentioned before to you earlier, Carl, that I had been 300 pounds. So, in the last maybe 15 years, I brought myself down a little bit by little bit. And it wasn't really until 2019, or maybe a bit earlier than that, was when I really realized that the weight and being overweight was a big hurdle in my life. So what I did was, essentially, I actually went back to why Be Motivated failed. So that's kind of how this started. Was, if I had been living that lifestyle that I had been preaching, I really wouldn't have been overweight. And also, if I had been living that lifestyle, I'd probably be a bit more successful with that brand. So that really led me to try to figure out the biggest pain point in my life, which was, why am I overweight, and why haven't I been able to lose that weight? So something important happened in 2018. My son was born, so I had a very strong why. I wanted him to grow up with a father, of course, but a healthy father and a happy father. So if I wanted my son to have a happy and a healthy father, I needed to be at an ideal weight, something that I was happy with. And in order for me to be happy, I had to do what I love to do and I want to do. Ever since, growing up in a family business, always wanted to have my own business, always wanted to be interacting with customers and things of that nature. So that really changed things for me. In 2018, when my son was born, took a lot of time to just think, talked with somebody who has been really impactful in my life, a friend of mine, and figured out, why I wasn't able to lose the weight, and essentially what I needed to do to lose that weight. So um, one of the biggest helpful tools I ever got was reading a book called Atomic Habits.
Great book.
Yeah, that book really it changed my life, literally. So after reading that book in late 2018, I realized that I had to make an identity shift. So I could no longer identify myself with, an overweight person or an unhappy person. Really had to start identifying myself with the person who I wanted to be, and that really changed things. So I was able to come across a diet that I ended up tweaking, and I was able to lose, at that time in 2019, over 60 pounds.
Oh my goodness, that's
So in
amazing.
total, thank you. So in total, I've been 300 pound at my heaviest, and being overweight my entire life. The least amount of weight I was 200 pounds. So I made that my goal. So that's another thing that I'd like to add, was that I had a why, which was my son, of course. I had a goal weight, which was very important, 200 pounds. And then I had a way to get there, the how. So it was through discipline, um, and healthy eating habits. So I did a lot of intermittent fasting where I couldn't eat for 18 hours. Did it for a long time, and it became more of a habit than anything. That's why that book Atomic Habits was so important, because it really reshaped my habits.
Interesting.
The one last thing I just wanted to add was that when I kind of took inventory of myself as to why I was overweight, I realized that all my life I had been a stress eater.
Mm.
So if something happened that stressed me out, it was eat this food and eat a lot of it, right? And it was a lot of mindless eating as well. So things of for example, watching TV and eating, it's like the worst thing that anybody could do, because
Yeah.
we're not paying attention to eating, we're paying attention to what we're watching. And so that was a big game changer when I realized why I was the way that I was and how I had gotten there and what I needed to do next.
Wow, that is fantastic. So collectively, it sounds like you've lost, give or take, around 100 pounds. Is that
Right.
accurate?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gained
Fantastic.
a little bit of weight during
Congratulations.
COVID.
What
Thank
a
you.
journey, man.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that COVID weight though.
Oh, you got the COVID weight?
Yeah.
We got a little bit of the COVID weight too.
Yeah, I'm battling that one myself every day, man.
I
So
know.
I think we're going to look to you, Sanjay, to give us some tips then,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you
So
started with why. I'm going to say
Yeah.
start with why. That's Simon Sinek. Then you have Atomic
Yes.
Habits. Then you had your looking at yourself as a why things are happening, and then the what. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a big mental preparation. So I've actually tried to bring this back, Be Motivated through weight loss coaching, and I'm in the progress of it now. It's a journey, right? That's kind of restarted, and it's important to be mentally prepared. So you have to want it, and in order to do it, it's going to take some mental hurdles to get past of.
Mhm.
So that it's a big impact. And once you kind of, just getting back to my story, when I was able to lose that weight, I was able to clear that hurdle of being overweight my whole life. It was a major impact in my life where I was no longer having these negative talks with myself, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
That self-talk improved, just so that everybody out know that self-talk is real. Like, having the way that you talk to yourself really determines your future, and even how other people think of you. So when I was able to create a better identity for myself, that was a game changer.
Fantastic. Well, what an inspiration. I really have to ask, what have been the biggest learnings or experiences since this transformation? So, like, after this
Yeah.
weight loss and this mind shift, what does it look like for you since that transformation?
Yeah, so I've done is essentially had to remind myself of how I was able to conquer such a big hurdle, because moving forward, to be successful in the business world, to become a consultant, to have your own brand or your own business, these are major things, major challenges. And I kind of remind myself of how I was able to um, address the weight challenge and what it took. So the discipline, the identity shift, the reframing of things. So instead of a lot of people do this, and I catch people doing this all the time, because I used to do it all the time, is if you do something stupid, essentially you'll say, oh, I'm stupid, or that was stupid, or whatever, that term that comes out. But us identifying ourselves as stupid or fat or lazy or whatever it is. And these are all things that essentially I've, identified myself with in the past. You have to get rid of those things. That notion that you are anything but, um, a learner, a good, whether it's a husband or a father or whatever it is. One of the major takeaways I've taken is to reframe things and to not let negativity bog me down. How I've been able to identify myself more as a learner as opposed to a failure, because in the past I've looked at failure as a shortcoming. I didn't look at it at the time when I failed that it was almost a blessing in disguise. Because to be completely honest with you, if I didn't look back and take inventory of why I failed, I don't think I would be so successful right now. Like what I've been able to do, like I've started my side hustles of consulting, and I'm doing well, but I don't think I would be successful in those endeavors if I didn't fail at one point. So I think it's really important how we look at failure and continuously learn. One of the things that I've started doing now is reframing even the word failure, because failure has now become kind of a buzzword. Or yes, failure is a good thing, but failure, the definition of failure, I haven't even looked it up, but I'm sure it's not a good definition. So us reframing it is great, but why don't we just call it mistakes? Like now I'll say, back when I launched this brand, I made a mistake, as opposed to back when I launched this brand, I failed. Because when we make mistakes, even in school, they usually tell you how to correct those mistakes. So we want to reframe failure as a mistake, so that way we're more inclined to learn from these mistakes.
Well said. I want to ask more about the professional aspect. So these lessons learned, these experiences, how did you translate it? Is there any specific, I guess, tools, techniques, concepts that you translate to your professional career and your journey?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I can tell you right off the bat was my confidence went up. I would probably say that my confidence soared, because I was being told that, hey, Sanjay, you just sound different. It's like you're a different person. Like people who hadn't seen me in a few months during my journey, they were just like, wow, like, yeah, you look great, but you also sound great. You sound different. So that's one of the things that I've been able to carry forward, because I find that my weight made me an introvert, because I would probably be more extroverted had I not been so overweight my whole life. So that really made a big difference in my personal life. Sorry, not my personal, but my professional, because I then put myself out there more, right? I just reached out to you on LinkedIn. I've reached out to hundreds of other people. I originally started on LinkedIn when I got let go at Adidas, and I had a few months to figure it out. And I was like, I need to go heavy on LinkedIn. I need to really up my game on LinkedIn. And that was around the same time that I went through this weight loss journey, this transformation. Less mental baggage, mental health was impacting me a lot. I was able to mitigate a lot of that, and it allowed me to be more extroverted and put myself out there. So then I just started having conversations with people. I joined a community. I would ask people, like, how did you do this? Before I was afraid. Like if I ask you something, Carl, and you say, oh, I don't have time for this, or I don't really know, or you should, kind of dust me off, I would have taken that as a sign that I'm doing the wrong thing, or I need to stop doing this. Right. So it was different once you build up that confidence, because then you don't let small hurdles become excuses.
That's
and I think
amazing.
that was a big takeaway for me, was that confidence piece allowed me to be more extroverted and have more conversations.
That's amazing because you definitely resonated. I would have never guessed that. And keep in mind, to the audience, I met Sanjay now. So this is the Sanjay. This is the only Sanjay I know. So
Right,
I
right.
I would have never guessed you as an individual that had no confidence. You always seemed extremely focused in the interaction we have, and confident in what you're saying and advice that you give. I have one more question. I mean, maybe two more, but one more.
Sure.
I'm curious to know the be motivated back then compared to be motivated now. Is it the same? Does it mean the same to you? You kept the title, you kept the name.
Right.
Does it has it changed in this journey with you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's changed. It's no longer a fitness apparel brand. I realized that in order to lose weight, it wasn't going to be just going to the gym, working 4 or 5 times a week. And I realized when I went through the journey myself that it was mainly um, food. Like if we control our diet, we're able to do a lot more. One of the things that I've realized, and this is kind of a segue into what the new Be Motivated will be, is that food has such an impact on our lives that we're not more conscious of. Like we need to become more conscious of it. So I think the new brand is going to head down that pathway where I would be helping people realize that if we control our eating habits, we can better our mental health. One of the things that I experience till this day is that when I have spurts where I'm not eating healthy, I tend to have um, uh, issues with mental health.
Right.
So I then tell myself that this is not where I want to be. This is not the person who I want to be. I need to get back to eating healthy, and I've essentially designed this eating plan that allows me to feel better. It allows me to lose weight if I want, allows me to be a lot more energetic. So you wouldn't think that not eating 18 hours a day would actually give you more energy, but it's amazing how it actually does. So that's what I want to do with the new brand. I want to help people, um, you know, lose weight, feel better about themselves, and really make themselves the best version of themselves.
Wow. Absolutely. And I'm going to look to you because I just started my journey, my transformational journey
Good.
on intermittent fasting.
Oh,
So
great.
I've been trying it for a while, and I'm going to look for you for some tips on if I'm doing it right,
Yeah.
and some thoughts on it. Shawn, if not sure if you want to add anything.
Yes, yes, and I can completely relate to Sanjay. As you're explaining your story, I can see so much of it. Personally, I went through playing with my son. I got injured on my shoulder, and it had me rethink how I'm living. And I since implemented a better stretching routine, power yoga more specifically, into
That's
my
great.
daily routine, and I've been doing it for about a year right now, combined with much better eating habits as well. And I found it's changed my mindset and my overall confidence and comfort in speaking with you, our audience today, and a lot of the consulting work that I do as well. So yeah, I can really relate, and I appreciate Sanjay telling you, you telling your story. I do have one final question, Sanjay.
Sure.
How can others continue to follow you on your transformational journey?
Yeah, so I'm heavy on LinkedIn. I'm there on Instagram as well at one Sanj, the number one Sanj. And also, I have my website, ima-consulting.ca. I'm working on the Be Motivated website. I'm actually working on a few things with Be Motivated. I'll be posting my diet, so my regimen of what I use to lose all that weight. I'm just going to be posting it on the website for free as probably a white paper, so that way I can add value to people's lives. I'm not this time around. Just quickly go back on the question earlier, where how has Be Motivated change? It's not about selling for me anymore. It's really about helping people. So if anybody wants to reach out to me through LinkedIn, Instagram, um, even email. You can go to my website, grab my email. Please reach out to me because I would love to have a conversation.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm a big follower of your LinkedIn, by the way. You've been putting out some outstanding, very
Thank you.
personal, very personal, but thought-provoking concepts and ideas. And when I read them, I'm blown away first off, and then second, I'm like, I don't know if I can add anything more to that. That's just perfect. I agree with everything you say. So yeah, I follow you deeply. I ask others to follow and look for some of your wisdom and your insights and your personal experience on LinkedIn. I'm going to hit you up to get some of your tips on eating and intermittent fasting.
Absolutely.
And if you can cook, I wouldn't mind you sending some stuff over for me and Shawn to sample.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put recipes and everything up on the website as well.
Awesome.
So I want to help out more than anything.
Awesome. All right, cool. And there we have it, folks. So thank you again, Sanjay. This has been a fantastic conversation. I've learned so much, and it just really reinvigorated or strengthened personally just my own motivation. So yeah, thank you again for your time, Sanjay.
You're welcome, guys. I'm so happy that Carl asked me to be here today, and I'm thankful that I can be here.
Awesome. And Carl, as always, thank you. It's been a peach.
As always, a peach, a legend, orange. Thank you for joining us, Sanjay. Shawn, Absolutely. You want to take us out?
All right. And thank you to our audience and our guests today. So enjoy the rest of your day, and please tune again for another episode of As Is To Be. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, guys.